Sisters, Mama ifo Assau bonsoir. Mama Babonneau bonsoir. I bring you greetings from Sulphur City, the town of Soufrière, the guy who demolished Alan Chasney and is prepared to do everything humanly possible to do it again. Wherever he goes, I'll be behind him like a lynch. My brothers and sisters, we are here tonight to continue to convince you that the Labour Party is the best option that you have for St. Lucia to advance. This election is important, it is critical, it is serious. And we must never ever make the mistake of allowing a man like Alan Chasney, Guy Joseph, Ezekiel, the grass fella, Estefan, never allow them to ride through the corridors of government again. Never give them the levers of power again. Never allow them to reach close to the treasury, because you know what they are going to do with the monies that are in there. My brothers and sisters, as I begin, I want you to rope in, come closer. I want to feel you. I want to feel your comfort. There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's come forward, my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's come forward. We're not going backward. We're not shy of anything, my brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters, I want you to think and think seriously and ask yourself this question. Should I vote for the Labour Party again? I want to hear you. Should you vote for the Labour Party again? If there is anyone here who has doubts, then you have not been in St. Lucia for a very long time. The programs, the policies, the initiatives that this government has implemented is unmatched, is unprecedented. Gouvernement Labour qui toujours ka fait bagay bay Saint-Lucie. Avec dernier 4 l'année, ça gouvernement Labour fait bay grand moun, bay vieux moun, bay jeune moun, bay ti mamay, bay chimé, bay l'hôpital, bay tout qualité bagay qui ni, jik cimetière. Pièce l'autre gouvernement passe à match ça. And all we are saying is to give the Labour Party, give Dr. Anthony and the team of good men he has around him, give him a chance to continue the work program. That is what we are saying. You cannot give your country to men who have no vision. What has Alan Chasney said to you in terms of an alternative? He would criticize and criticize and criticize. But what would you do, Alan Chasney? Alan Chasney, qui est-ce qu'il fait différent parce que ça gouvernement ça qu'a faire? I want you to answer that question. Don't tell me you're going to give people visa to go to the United States of America. We are not going to become refugees. My brothers and sisters, we cannot give our country to a bunch of crooks. Fellas who thief money from local government. They thief money in Babonneau too, you know. They thief plenty money in Babonneau. And I tell you, had it not been for the DPP, a lot of these guys would not be running election this year. And so we move on, my brothers and sisters. We don't want our country to go back into the hands of corrupt, inept politicians of the United Workers' Party. You have 100% chance of doing better under Labour. If you are not employed and you are a young person, you have 100% chance of getting a job under Labour than under Flambeau. I guarantee you that. And so tonight, to begin the meeting, I am going to bring the gentleman who is going to dethrone Gail Rigobert from Mykonos. But let me just say a little bit of something about Gail. Somebody told me, Gail said she is a phenomenal woman. Gail said she is a phenomenal woman because she is in a position and she could get so much done. Gail, I say to you, the only thing about you that is phenomenal is your mouth. You know why? You know why? Because You don't have a position. You flip-flop on every issue. You are for step, then you come back and you talk against step. You are for the CIP, then you come back and speak against the CIP. You are for laptops, it's a good program, but you are against it. You are for the caretakers, then you turn against it. So indeed, you are a phenomenal, but only in your mouth, because you cannot be consistent. You cannot be consistent on any one issue. And for a woman who has reached that level of education, I am surprised, I am dismayed, and sometimes, magic fâché. Magic fâché. Qui m'a chassé quand là, moi fâché? Moi fâché. Moi fâché. Ensuite, nous pas fâché, pas nous fâché. And so, Alan Chasley is not sure of himself in Miku South. So he's in there Miku North. But in Miku North, we have a candidate. We have a man who will bring that seat home for the St. Lucia Labour Party. And don't fool yourself. With Janin in the mix, that seat is going to come to us. So it gives me great pleasure to bring in Mr. Roserie from Miku North. And I can see people from Miku North, let me hear you. Help me welcome Mr. Roserie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Party Chairman, immediate past Chairman, Chairman Emeritus, our political leader is not here yet. Brothers and sisters, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, let me first thank the Almighty for the spirit of discernment. For the spirit of discernment given me to follow the star throughout my voting life. I have followed the star, the St. Lucia Labour Party, throughout my voting life, as it is an esteemed organization. The St. Lucia Labour Party. Awoosh! I said to you tonight, brothers and sisters, tonight is a very special night. And there is nothing that happens by accident. Everything is planned. The universe has it all planned out. It is a special night tonight for more than one reason. Tonight, I make my debut. That's the first time on a platform, on a Labour Party platform. And I am really thrilled to be here tonight. I will contest the Miku North seat. I am ready. Are you ready? A star is about to be born in the East. And the course of history will change. Whoosh! Before I continue, I need to give you a little history. I cannot come to Assau and not give you a history. Because Assau is my second home. And Miss Alvina Reynolds, your district rep, reminded me of that as soon as she appeared on the platform. 37 years ago, age 19, I came to this parish. And today, I'm driving down here and I'm thinking, why, I must be in some part of New York. Moi, l'école neuf. Moi, aller pas derrière là, moi, stadium, moi, playing field. Attends, moi, t'es ici, il était ni l'école, mais pas de ni qualité l'école, ça là. Non. Avec moi changé, I remember seeing Alvina. I call her Alvina because she was maybe about 9 years old or so, with her little plaits, a blue uniform, going to school. And you know what happened? At that time, I'm in the schoolyard talking to a young teacher. Her teacher. And 3 years after, we were married. And 3 of my kids, my 3 lovely girls, my treasured ones, their baptismal certificates are at Babonneau. So, need I tell you more? But, brothers and sisters, I can give you a lot of stories, and I have a limited time. If I have the time, I will give you a joke about a good friend of mine and one who's known by everybody in this area. And that's none other than Mr. Michael Gaspar. Reitika teach l'école ça. Okay. So, it is my second home. For me, the decision to choose the Labour Party as the party through which to make my contribution to this country was never difficult. I was raised in a house where the only topic on which my parents disagreed was politics. My father adored John Compton, while my mother despised him. As the last child of 9 children, naturally, I gravitated and I was influenced by my mother. More importantly though, as I matured and cultivated independent thinking, my earlier disposition was reinforced. And that was so because I saw, as I grew up, not a shred of evidence in Miku to suggest that the UWP had done anything in this constituency. For 40 years! The village of Miku is over 40 now, almost 50. The village of Miku has been represented by the United Workers' Party. And there is nothing to show. It is, in fact, it is now one of the poorest, if not the poorest, constituency. I remember going to my ex-teacher and parliamentary representative at the time, Mr. Lee George, and expressed my feeling. Although I was very respectful, his response was to break off all verbal communication with me until he passed. He just wouldn't speak to me. I have a nephew who is about the same age with me, Robert. Robert would go to his house, he would go to Robert's house, but he refused to have anything to do with me because I told him to his face that I could never support the United Workers' Party. Concomitantly with the fortunes of the banana industry, I watched the social fabric of the community, which I call home, Miku, decline. Although we had been forewarned of the economic problems that we would encounter, no preparation was made by the UWP to avert the inevitable consequence. It was the Labour Party government who took up the arduous task of transiting the economy from agriculture to a tourism-based economy in 1997 onwards, under the esteemed leadership of none other than Dr. Kenny D. Anthony. This is a formidable man, a phenomenal man. In Mikunov, there can be absolutely no comparison between the performance of the SLP and the UWP. None whatsoever. as I have said elsewhere, and will continue to express without fear of contradiction. In contradiction, upasa, no, okay, upasa kobonsa. Oh, guy, bakay kobonsa. Ibasa isa kobonsa. In approximately 14 years of labor governance, 14 years, not 14 years, consecutive years, but, 14 years of labor governance, right? In the Miku-North constituency. And I want you to listen to that. In approximately 14 years of labor governance, the Miku constituency has benefited, right, with the construction of a new police station, a new fire station, the Mikud Primary School extension undertaken under this administration, the construction of the Planet Jetty and the improvement of the surrounding bay, right? The construction of a road in Jean-Baptiste Hill, the electrification of the Captain Extension residential area, the construction of the community footpaths, right? Building of locker rooms. Right now, they're building locker rooms for the fishermen in the Miku Bay. And there's a brand new ICT center waiting to be commissioned. Recently as well, the Patience Court was resurfaced. It's just that I have one regret. The job could have been done better. And I am sure if it was given to an SLP contractor, it would have been well done. We also have in Miku taking place a skills training center. It's open, where the young people can go in and learn their trade. I've already heard it said that the ITC center, for those who know the ITC center, that is going to be a white elephant. It's doomed. This tells you about the mentality of some of us. Instead of looking at that facility as one that we can take and run with it, one we can make use of and cherish. They are saying that SLP should not build that. That is not useful. What can they do with it? You have to go there to get Wi-Fi and all kinds of things. No? This is not, and I'm praying that this community changes to labor so that the mentality can change in this community. Interventions as far as social services continue in Miku-North and elsewhere on the island. The caregivers program, the NICE program, the STEP program, SMILES, AWUJ, farm labor support program to boost agricultural output, distribution of computers. The Master of Ceremonies told you, distribution of computers to students, right? And increased subsidies to the poor and indigent, the differently abled. This is what this government represents. So, when I am asked why I chose labor, the answer was simple. I've always been labor and I continue to stay labor. And this is what it is going to be for life. You know, one thing I look forward to in St. Lucia? I look forward to the implementation of universal health care. I look forward to that. And I know that it can only be implemented. I have the confidence that it can only be implemented under the St. Lucia Labour Party. Rouge. With the foregoing, all that I have mentioned, if anyone is of sound mind, like I am, he or she must align themselves to the Labour Party. As the Labour Party has the hardware, the software, the glassware, the footwear, and most importantly, brain efficiency and power in this country to improve the economic or to withstand the economic global stress that we are faced with. The fact that under the leadership of the Prime Minister, the government has been able to keep out the IMF. We have been able to keep off the IMF from our doorsteps. And this, my brothers and sisters, should be sufficient testimony that we must keep the Labour Party in power in St. Lucia. I pride myself as being a practical individual who believes that we must use critical thinking, not just to make improvements, but to solve people's problems. The Labour Party is about solving people's problems. And when you can solve people's problems in a country, you are bound to be looked at with a level of pride. My brothers and sisters, in closing, I believe in my people of St. Lucia. I believe we can rise to the occasion each and every time. St. Lucia is blessed with people of distinction performing all over the world. We need to showcase these people at every opportunity, every occasion, so that our youth will learn to make excellence part of the culture. As citizens, we need to be more caring people. We must learn to love ourselves so that we can love others. We need to be more compassionate. Our attitude towards life is what will determine our attitude on life scale. Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, we have we have to be more responsible in the way we dispose our litter. This is a source of worry for me. We must utilize our spare time by becoming involved in worthwhile activities. We need to show greater concern for our environment by creating healthy green spaces where we can not only recreate but live and work in a clean and safe environment. Brothers and sisters, I thank you. Awaj! Remember, there is an upcoming general election. Maybe sooner rather than later. Remember, when you go into that ballot box, that polling booth, where will we put the star, the X? By the star. Thank you very much.